Diddy versus Kanye and Mase. What's going on? So, guys, we're no strangers to the news about Puff Diddy Combs and him not paying his, or him exploiting people in the music industry and in entertainment. And I just wanted to clear some things up, right? Do you believe him, Diddy, when he says that he's never stolen from anybody in a day in his life? Do you believe him? What are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. If you're new here, my name is Kenim, and let's just get right into it. I'm going to play a clip of him in the Breakfast Club addressing some of the people that are saying that he owes them money. Let's do it.
Is there has been negative propaganda put out about me that's not true, and has really tried to stain my legacy. I've always been a person, I don't like to get in just talking people's business and things like that. But not right now. I have made it my purpose that when I come back, I can't have y'all following me, because I am here to be a leader and to give some direction. If you think that I'm a scumbag that will ever steal anything, my name is Diddy, Sean Combs. I never took nothing from nobody a day in my life. All I've ever given is opportunity and more money than a person was making. So when I hear or I see things and I'm like, wow, this vibe that they got on me, like I'm Big Red or something. I came here, I had to open up the doors.
So you're saying you don't steal from artists, is what you're saying?
Never.
So how does a narrative like that happen with so many different people?
Because people have this thing called the tap out button. When you get to a certain point and the money is running low, you gotta run this hustle to try to find somebody to blame. You know what I'm saying? I have all my receipts. And so we are gonna do a retrospective with all the artists, and we're gonna get this narrative clear, because it comes from different tactics when people wanna get out of contracts. And a lot of people that speak on this, y'all don't know the business, y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. So it's gonna be a teaching moment of love, because it is important. I feel, fight for your reputation. An album, how much money do you think I owe this guy? One album, and then he became a fake pastor and went and conned people, and then y'all gonna let him throw dirt on the God's name? I wrote each and every one, and each and everybody, and anybody could come and step up. Bring your receipts. But I'm not playing. I'm back outside and I'm fighting back for us, and I'm also do a little fighting back for me. You know what I'm saying? So
how much money I'm just throwing this out, how much money does somebody like a Mase owe you? Because the reason I say that,
Mase owes me $3 million. That's facts. I got the receipt.
Second album, you gave money to do second album, never delivered.
Did the album, never delivered. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna go back and forth with Mase. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going back and forth with nobody. I will tell anybody thinks I owe them something, show me the receipt. You get paid in 24 hours. Because sometimes there's accounting problems. You know what I'm saying?
What did you...
All right, that was interesting. A few things that I have, a few thoughts that came to my mind about that. The first thought was the part, the fact that he said, there's something that he said that was so interesting, right? All I've done is given them more money than they were making before me. And now, here's the thing about it, right? Legally, I think that legally, you probably can't say that Diddy stole from them. That's what's in the contract. If I heard about a contract, it was like in Nigeria, and it was about a musician who had agreed to give the lawyer 90% of the sales in a deal, which just sounds absolutely absurd and sounds like theft. But if it's legally in place, then if you agree to sign this, then legally he didn't steal from anyone, right? So that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, and I'm not agreeing with him because I think there's a difference between theft and exploitation. And I think that these artists need to use the right terminology. Did he steal from them? No. Legally, he hasn't stolen from anybody. But now, did he exploit them? And that's the big question mark. And I think that's really where it is. I think it's interesting how, of course he's going to defend himself. And of course, this is what it takes to be a business, especially a music mogul, especially in the era that he came up in. I think in today's era, you don't have to be as exploitative to be successful. But I think back then, that was the nature of the business. You did have to be you did have to work in those ways. And that's the era that Diddy made his name. So I think that we should be a little bit lighter on him around this stuff, because when it comes down to it, nobody's pointing fingers at Jimmy Iovine. Nobody's pointing fingers at anybody else that's white, and no one else is white that's accomplished. Nobody's pointing fingers at them. But when it's the black person that's doing it, everyone wants to point fingers. How about you point fingers at the whole music industry that's extremely exploitative? Why single out Diddy? There's another thing that he said, and let me just because I don't even remember, but something else that he said. Let me see if I can play it.
I'm running a hustle to get money. I started delivering papers at 12 years old. I was a millionaire when I was 19. You know what I'm saying? And so I will be making sure that the truth comes out, because that's not going down in my legacy. An album. How much money do you think I owe this guy? One album? And then he became a fake pastor and went and conned people? And then y'all gonna let him throw dirt on the God's name? I wrote each and every one, and each and everybody, and anybody could come and step up. Bring your receipts. But I'm not playing. I'm back outside and I'm fighting back for us. And I'm also do a little fighting back for me.
Yeah, that was the part that I thought was funny. I'm fighting back for us. You're fighting back for yourself, okay? You're fighting back for yourself. And I just think it's look, he's a leader. And that's the language of leaders, convincing you that their problem is everybody else's problem. No. You're not fighting for me. You're not fighting. Who's us? You're not fighting for us. You're fighting for yourself. Just call a spade a spade. He's fighting for himself. And here's the thing about Diddy, right? Because I saw he had this social media post a few weeks ago, and he was looking to put together creatives, content creators and all sorts of creatives, to be a part of some sort of creative mission that he has going on. And I just think that when it comes down to it, when you have a reputation, the reputation that he has, why would a creative want to work with you? Because I saw that thing and it looked like something that, maybe I should sign up to it. But I thought about his reputation and the exploitation, and I'm kind of like, why? That doesn't make sense for me to sign up to that. For some people, I'm sure, some people that need the opportunity, sure, but it just you don't have the reputation of somebody like Jay-Z that elevates other people. You have a reputation of an exploiter. And yes, as much as I said before, it's business. Business is business. I'm not dogging him for using traditional methods to become successful. I'm not dogging him for that, but I think in this new media landscape, we don't have to rely on him to make it, so to speak. And if anything, the people that he's going to select are going to be the people that he wants, that are actually doing something on their own, that don't actually need him. And they come in with the wow factor of them being Diddy and all that stuff. And that's how they get you attached. Okay, so he talks about Mase owing him money. And let's see what Mase had to say about this, because this was funny.
Let's go. Yo, how dare this nigga talking about he want receipts? Let's start with your mother, nigga. Your mother got the receipts, nigga. Everything is in your mother's name. That's the one who got the receipts, nigga. You need more proof, nigga? Biggie ain't here, so Big can't give you no receipts. He dead. Craig Mack can't give you receipts. He dead. What are you talking about? Who else? Black Rob can't give you receipts. He dead. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts. And I sign it, nigga. Cause I ain't need the money. All money ain't good money. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that, nigga. You know who to play with, nigga.
So that was Mace's response. And obviously he didn't agree with what Diddy said. And, you know, he made some interesting points that anyone that's alive to speak up about it is probably on your payroll. And all the people that are dead, they can't speak up for themselves. That's an interesting point. But to Diddy's point about him not owing money, let's just be honest. Mase is not the first person to speak out about it. And let's see what Jadakiss and Styles P said. I think this was like back in radio days in like the early 2000s or maybe even the 90s when he owed them money. Check it out.
About it, or you can take the invitation I gave you before, but it's not even getting there because of your get on the radio, whatever tactics. I ain't your enemy.
Dog, we just
You need to bang like that on cats that's coming at you. I ain't your enemy.
Yesterday we got a note from your office saying you don't have no idea of none of this or none of nothing.
Just yesterday, your lawyer told us that.
I see you at the show backstage. You said find out what it was.
But don't sit here and portray like Puff took nothing from y'all.
What is it? What is it? What do you call it?
If it's 10 years
what do you call it? And don't say we can come to your office or do none of that, because we can't do none of that.
Street was
We can't handle it no other way but with lawyers, and you know that, so don't get on the radio and act like a tough guy or none of that.
You know how we can settle?
You acting tough.
I'm in my office. So why don't we stop talking on the radio?
Now, you want people to stop talking because you just don't want to know the truth, dog. We made one record with you. Money, Power, Respect. It's 10 years later, and you still got half of our publishing. Now, there's no way you can make it justifiable that you deserve half of our publishing.
You ain't saying nothing to my face. We just at the concert. You ain't saying nothing.
What are we going to do saying it to your face? Get sued? What do you want us to do? We can't touch. We can't be violent or none of that. We can't even have.
You saying all this, dog? 2 years ago, levels in Miami.
Let's recognize real. Y'all know where the office is at. There's a big sign on it. I'm gonna be here.
The whole National Guard's downstairs too. Cut it out, man. We can't talk
in this. I'm a grown ass man, man.
You're a coward.
And I don't take nothing.
You're a thief,
You're a coward.
Don't say you're a thief.
Okay.
You're a
Come
thief.
to the office, man. Come to the office so we can straighten it out there.
Yo, how we just 3 guys you don't even mess with. You had your Ace Boom publishing.
You call me whatever you
won't
want.
let his publishing go.
I'm at the office.
You won't let your man's publishing go.
You argue in front of New York. That's the way you want to
Do you own your man's publishing,
dog?
dog?
Nothing to y'all, man.
Do you own your man's publishing?
New York could believe it or whatever. I don't
Do you own your man's publishing?
I can sleep good at night because I ain't never did that to y'all. And if y'all ever want
Dog, you had a whole bunch of artists that
Puffy.
Dog, you had a bunch of artists whose careers never went right with you, dog. Be for real, dog. Look at the list.
We don't want to be violent.
You the artist that did best for yourself. Look at your list, dog. Look at all the artists you dealt with. Look at the situation they dealt with.
Whew. A few things here. Look, if a lot, like Charlamagne said in the question, like if a lot of people are saying this about you, surely there has to be some truth to it. But I go back to my point. If it's legal and you agree to it in a contract and you didn't spend the time to read the contract to see how you're being exploited, why are you complaining? Read your contracts. That's the most important thing. Read your contracts. Let me give you an example, right? Diddy reads his contracts. He knows this game, right? Not only did he go to college, but I remember when his son, Quincy Jones, was asked to join Empire. And one of the terms of him joining Empire, the series, what's his name's series? Daniel, what's his name? I can't remember. The series, Empire on Fox. One of the key things for him joining was that anytime, like, they would own his masters for all his music and his whole music career, they would own it, right? They would own everything. And Diddy's son said no, because they understand the music business. They understand the impact of that. And they understand, all of those things. So I think that when it comes to an artist, it's your responsibility to get educated in the music business. I think back then when Diddy was doing the exploitation, that was the name of the game, and there was no internet for people to go and Google stuff and figure things out. But I think in 2022, go and Google it. Everything is online. There are so many YouTubers that go into depths about the music business and how not to get exploited. I talk about it on this channel. Watch this stuff. There's no excuse in 2022 to get exploited. Back then, sure, information was not easily, and these people in business in general, people exploit your negligence. No, more specifically, people exploit your ignorance. They look at what you don't know and they use that to exploit you. So actually, in most situations, if you can be the one to draft the contract and not sign somebody else's contract, you're better off that way. And that's why you need not just a lawyer, not a great lawyer that has experience and has seen people be exploited and why certain clauses are in the contract. Because sometimes you'll read a contract and you don't understand it and you won't even understand the scenario whereby this little clause in the contract could affect you. But if you had a lawyer that is experienced and seasoned in the music industry or whatever business it is that you're doing, they will recognize predatory clause that you won't even see. I think one of my biggest mistakes is when I gave away my IP for a film that I did for free without even knowing that Hollywood pays for your IP. A lot of money for your IP. I didn't even understand the importance of IP. So I guess my point is that was just a short film that I did, and I have many more, to create. But when it comes down to it, I think as a musician, as a creative, you need to know this stuff. And to Diddy's point, he's right. He hasn't exploited he hasn't stolen from anyone because you signed on the dotted line and you made more money through him. And yes, and you only realize that your money's running out. You only realize that you made a bad decision when your money's running out, when it's too late. So what Diddy's talking about is educate yourself. And I think now when it comes down to it, yes, that's the way that he started in the music business. But let's look at what he's doing right now. And don't forget, all the podcasts that are coming out, $1 million worth of game, that's Revolt. What's the other one? I think that is Revolt. I don't know. Let me double check. $1 million worth of game. The other one is the Noriega document. Drink Champs. That's the music, and they talk about music business and that's him. So he's already giving us information around the music business, right? So he's making his contribution. Then, in addition to that, he said he's going to make a special. I don't know if he's actually going to do that, but that would be great if he could do something like that. Give us some information. Give us some know-how. Let us see the contracts that you're signing with your artists. And really, it's your responsibility. If you get scammed, if you get got, that's on you. Diddy didn't do anything, and he didn't do anything that every other organization, every other music executive hasn't even done worse. But because he's black, somehow black people are pointing a finger at him. But why don't you go look at Jimmy Iovine that you were so happily signing contracts with? Ultimately. So I won't say he didn't do anything. He did, but he's just playing a game as a player plays the game. That's the game. That's the name of the game. That's how he got to where he's gotten now. Even Jay-Z has done some predatory things in business. It's the name of the game. But everyone wants to point the finger at Diddy instead of doing their research and doing their homework. So I guess those are my opinions. Then we know, okay, so Diddy went back and forth with Mase, and then now then Kanye got involved, and Kanye started dissing Diddy because he talked about him on the Breakfast Club. Then Kanye went and started hanging out with Mase and started posting with Mase. Kanye's a mess. This video isn't really about Kanye. It's about Diddy being accused of being a predator. And I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. I think there's one more point I wanted to make, but I just can't remember what it was. Let me see. Hold on.
Dog, you had a bunch of artists whose careers never went right with you, dog.
My other point was about Diddy. Look, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, when you think about Bad Boy was created to boost Diddy's fame and his career. It's not about the artist. That's why he only really ever does one project with his artist, like he says. Like he said it. I only did one project with me. So he really only does one project with them because he's using them to make himself famous. I think a modern day example of it is Jake Paul with Team 10 and how Jake Paul was really using Team 10 to make himself famous. And so you got to be careful about that when you're signing a deal with a company. Is the record label executive also a musician? If he is, the only time I've seen that go well was with Drake and Nicki Minaj through Lil Wayne. And I think that Drake, because he did like a 50-50 deal, 9 times out of 10, you don't get too many artists that succeed, right, that are under another artist. And Diddy is an artist. He's a celebrity, right? So I think you just have to be careful about that. When I say succeed, I mean succeed beyond one hit song or one hit album. Look at Chingy. That's another example. So many examples of it. So you got to be careful. Just because someone's a celebrity, chances that you're going to blow through them are not even that high. Especially specifically if they sign you to their record label. So just avoid being signed to their record label. Like I heard about other people do this predatory stuff. Like Drake apparently. Remember that guy? Songs going up on a Tuesday, or that song, like he signed him to OVO Music, used that song and just ditched him. Same thing as Kanye. Kanye is someone to talk coming after Diddy now, but Kanye does this, and apparently he did this to Designer because he wanted that Panda song, and he just like, imagine selling your whole future just because for like a couple $100,000. They give you a couple $100,000 and you sell your masters for all your future songs, and they just discard you. That's what Kanye has done. So at least like Diddy's actually, I think he's more fruitful in creating artists that are memorable. Kanye, Drake, they're way more predatory in that regard. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. Do your due diligence. Read your contract. And I'll see you next time. A peace and stream.